I think it's fair to say that Manchester United have been an absolute catastrophe this season. A car crash. Depressing, abysmal, awful. Whatever superlative you want to use to describe United, it's accurate. We crashed out of the group stage for the fourth time in 11 years from the Champions League, and there's pressure on Erik Ten Hag. There are a lot of people calling for him to be sacked, and that's what I want to speak about in this video. I want to give my honest opinion on this Ten Hag sacking conversation. What I've done this time is a little bit different in this video. I've just written everything down, and I want to run through it point by point, taking everything into account, and I want to hear from you in the comments what you think right now about Ten Hag, because the United fan base is quite divided on this. Some people want to see him sacked, some people don't. Now, for those that do, I understand. I think there's justification for the argument. The lack of progress this season. The decisions that Erik Ten Hag has been making. Strange decisions that just go against the manager that we thought we had. And his principles and his philosophies and the tactics and so many mistakes that he has made. But none of that has got me to the point where I want to see Erik Ten Hag get sacked. Now, let me please explain. First and foremost, even if you do think that Ten Hag is going to be sacked, you know full well that nothing is going to happen until this takeover is completed. The 25% takeover and Ineos takes sporting control away from the Glazers. I call it water torture, the drip of this takeover. If you do not think, like Gary Neville spoke about this, I think it was before the weekend on Sky Sports. He's like, yeah, you can blame the Glazers. It is the truth. The painful truth. You know what an even more painful truth is this. We've all been talking about rebuilds since Fergie left. Moyes, Van Gaal, Mourinho, Solskjaer, Radnick. Ten Hag. Truth be told, day one of the rebuild hasn't even started yet. And it won't start until the Glazers are not in control of any sporting decision at this football club. And until that is the case, we will perpetually be stuck in a never-ending cycle of managers and decisions and processes that will repeat. We've had all different types of managers, like every single different type of personality and on different levels, like Mourinho, the sort of experience, he's going to win it all, and Van Gaal, the experienced man who comes in and arm around the shoulder maybe sometimes, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, come on, I'll be your mate, I'll be your pal. Erik Ten Hag, up and coming, great stock. All of these managers have melted in the Manchester United environment. And it's the common denominator of the Glazers. Now, with Erik Ten Hag, he brought up so much credit with me last season. When I saw him working, when everything was... I'm not saying that everything goes your way in football, because it does not. Right? Football is not Disney. But last season, I agree with so many of his decisions, so many of his substitutions. And this season, we've had... Like, you might try and dismiss the idea that, you can't use injuries as an excuse. But fuck me. Has it impacted his ability to play the team he wants? And he has tried to find out ways around it, and he's failed in that sense. Absolutely, that's down to Erik Ten Hag. Making the most of what he's got when what he wants is unavailable, I think Ten Hag has failed at. But certainly part of that is down to the quality that exists inside this squad. And you know something I find really quite, not hilarious, but a bit funny? Like, sack Erik Ten Hag, get rid of him. There you go, that'll solve it. Who should come in? Graham Potter? Ruben Amorim? You're just picking a name out and you're throwing it in. You've got no idea about that. You could argue just in the same way that I've got no idea that Ten Hag will improve. But this is the thing, right? Ten Hag, when he came into Manchester United, he has been tasked with everything. He's been tasked with looking into the past to find the United way and playing a certain style of football. He's been tasked with managing the present and all the problems in the squad, and Ronaldo and the De Gea situation, and now the Sancho situation and everything in between. And he's also been tasked with managing the vision for the future, making sure that every decision that you've made whilst looking at the past and concentrating on the present is focused on the future. And aligning all of these three things at the same time as coaching the team, as well as choosing all the players that you should be signing and shouldn't be signing, and the players that you should be selling, and players falling out like Jadon Sancho. Do you see where I'm going with this? It's exhausting. I'm not taking a breath. It's on purpose because Erik Ten Hag has been drowning at this club. And our club has drowned many a manager and many a player. Now, at this point in time, you could give a lifeboat to Erik Ten Hag. Bring in a sporting director. Bring in a CEO that take away those decisions from him, because I personally still have trust in Erik Ten Hag as a head coach if he has the ability to just be a head coach. And this is the modern day Manchester United. We were so successful in the sort of the, I suppose, authoritarian image of Fergie, the one man at the top in control of all decisions, that we've never snapped out of it. Never still snapped out of it. And that's why, for me, I will continue to support Erik Ten Hag. But my word, dude, stop making it hard for me, even as like a staunch supporter of you. It's McTominay's situation. Just slap it. Get rid of it, man. Not saying slap McTominay, get rid of it, but McTominay should not be starting for Manchester United in a midfield with Bruno Fernandes. You cannot accommodate both of those ill-disciplined players in your team. And Bruno Fernandes is that good that I think you can accommodate his ill-discipline, but you need to balance it with the rest of the midfield. You put him alongside Scott McTominay. Chaos. But that sums up Manchester United so far this season. Now, I know that there's going to be people who jump in these comments and say, Samuel, he's going down a blind alley. Yeah, brilliant. I don't see where United... It's not that I don't see where United go if we sack Erik Ten Hag. I think it's the complete opposite. I see exactly where we're going to go if we sack Erik Ten Hag. Back to fucking square one. And I'm pig sick of it. Pig sick of it. So I'm willing to take the brunt here. Take the pain. Take the scorn of United fans. Just like I was when I sort of spoke out against Ronaldo quite early. And then proven correct by that Piers Morgan interview. I still have belief in Erik Ten Hag as a head coach. Now, do I think that the Liverpool game could change my opinion? I think it could have an impact. I do. I can't deny that. Erik has to go there knowing what bruising defeat will do to his support inside the fan base. This is we've been in survival mode all season, and we've had our little bumps and we've had plenty of falls. He can't afford to go to Liverpool at Anfield on Sunday and get trounced. This team cannot afford to do that. But for me, sacking Erik Ten Hag is not the solution. Not as it stands. I can't say with utter confidence that he is going to be our manager at the end of the season. Okay? I'm not going to give him a golden ticket and a hall pass for that. But I would not sack him now. I would wait until the new structure is in. And if at that point you've got Ratcliffe and Brailsford and Blanc and Mitchell or whoever that sporting director is, and they decide in line with the long-term vision that Erik Ten Hag and the direction he's taken the club is not exactly where we need to go, and we should probably pivot and move somewhere else, and it's part of a sustained long-term plan rather than a reaction because you're knocked out of the Champions League to Bayern Munich, then that is something that I can sort of understand and get along with. But surely you've learnt by now as United fans that just, I mean, how many players like Onana came in as a fantastic goalkeeper. And look at him now. Erik Ten Hag came in with a huge stock, and last season was great. Up until February, when it started collapsing. all of this is just, it's all been infected by the poison of the Glazers. And there will be rivals of other fans that are just, I can't be fucking asked to even hear their bollocks. All they want to do is stamp on United's head. And I don't blame them for doing it, man. We've been that good for 20 years. Of course they're gonna revel in it. They're gonna love it. Oh yeah, just sack another manager. Here we go. Oh yes, all over again. That's United gone for another few years. Brilliant news. I don't think Ten Hag's the Messiah. I don't think any manager or any player is the Messiah. But I'm so staunchly against the concept of sacking being the solution to our problems. And I have belief in what Ten Hag did last season, what I saw from him when he was a manager who focused on the football. Get back to that, Erik. You've turned into all managers that are under pressure at this point in time where you just kind of make decisions to try and get a go. It's like Mourinho. You go towards the end, you don't really play kind of what you should do. You just play those players you think you can trust and players that you think might grab you a goal. And that's why he's so obsessed with McTominay. But stop it, Erik. You keep going down this path and you will get sacked. And that'll be like self-inflicted. But that's my opinion on it all. I'm not sure. I know that not all of you are going to agree with this. And, well, maybe a conversation on Monday might be slightly different to my opinion today, depending on what happens. But I'm so tired of this cycle that I'd rather see out some more pain and see what comes as a consequence of that than start all over again when I know what the consequence of that's going to be.